ようこそ皆さん、東京六本木国立新美術館へ。こちらは時代のプリズム、日本で生まれた美術表現1989から2010展覧会の入り口です。これから展覧会についてドリアン・チャンさんにご説明いただきます。
Prism of the Real, Making Art in Japan 1989 to 2010 is an exhibition that examines the fascinatingly diverse range of art that was made in and around Japan during the pivotal period of the last decade of the 20th century and the first decade of the 21st century. The period is bookended on one end by the end of the Showa period, which lasted from the end of 1926 to the beginning of 1989, as well as the end of the Cold War. And on the other end, by the devastating Tohoku earthquake, which occurred in March 2011, causing massive seismic as well as a socio-cultural shift in Japan.
こちらの展覧会は国立新美術館と香港の M プラスとのコラボレーションからできています。アジアにおける現代美術館として中心的な役割を担っている M プラスでは、日本の美術、デザイン、建築、そうしたビジュアルカルチャー一般を企画展だけでなく収蔵品としても紹介しています。今回の展覧会は日本という国だけでなく、広く日本というプラットフォームでどのような美術が生まれたかという活況を捉えるにあたって、複数の視点からキュレーションをし、日本の活況のある美術を捉えていけたらと思った、そのパートナーに M プラスの関心、そして経験、そして知識を持って参加いただいたということになりました。
As a global museum of contemporary visual culture, M+ looks across Asia from our location of Hong Kong and Greater China, and narrates and shows complex correlations within Asia and between Asia and the rest of the world. Japan plays a particularly important role in M+'s conceptual mapping of Asia, because Japan has been a crucial source of inspiration and reference point in the areas of visual culture in the M+ purview: design and architecture, moving image, and visual art. We are delighted to have had this opportunity to collaborate with the National Art Center Tokyo to research and explore the rich, multifaceted range of contemporary art practices that emerged in Japan during the decades when globalization accelerated and the exchanges between nations and regions within Asia grew exponentially. It was also important for us to ensure that this exhibition includes artists who are not from or based in Japan, and to emphasize that Japan provided a fertile, open, and inviting platform where international artists made works of art. Prism of the Real, Making Art in Japan 1989 to 2010 includes 50 artists and more than 170 works. About 1/3 of the artists in the exhibition are from outside Japan, hailing from countries such as South Korea, China, Thailand, the United States, France, and the United Kingdom. The exhibition begins with prologue, highlighting the robust internationalism in Japan's contemporary art field in the 1980s, during the so-called bubble economy era. This section includes a number of photographs documenting significant figures and events captured by Anzai Shigeo, the prominent photo documentarian of the Japanese art world, who was active for many decades and whose archive resides at the National Art Center Tokyo. We see here, for instance, images of the German artist Joseph Beuys and the Korean-born artist Nam June-paik, two of the most influential figures in the history of art in the latter half of the 20th century. Although they hailed from two opposite ends of the Eurasian continent, they were united by the notion of Eurasia, not just a conceptual possibility of transcending political and civilizational boundaries that separate us. Especially in the wake of the totalizing devastation of the Second World War and during the Cold War that lasted from 1945 to 1989. In 1984, Beuys and Paik found themselves in Tokyo at the same time. These two longtime friends and colleagues had their respective solo exhibitions in this city and joined forces to stage a performance together, which you can see documented in these photographs by Anzai. Now we are in the introduction part of the exhibition titled A Critical Turn. We as curators decided to name this impactful group of artworks as such because the very beginning of the time frame of this exhibition, circa 1989, witnessed the emergence of a group of young artists with potent new artistic voices. Each one was unique, and there seemed to be little commonalities based on which one could describe or categorize them together. Nonetheless, there seemed to have been a common ethos. They approached art history, systems of signs and symbols, everyday life and material culture as ready-mades. Non-artistic matters and materials can now become the stuff art is made out of. You can see this sometimes confrontational approach in the example of this sculpture by Tsubaki Noboru titled Aesthetic Pollution. It looks like a giant boulder or meteorite that landed on the earth. Its surface is encrusted with forms that are both mineral-like or resembles deep-sea creatures, like crustaceans. There are these branches, or are they antennae, that shoot up from the mass. Of course, we have to acknowledge that all the parts and the whole surface are dubbed completely in this blinding fluorescent yellow. Although the work reminds viewers of various shapes and forms, and maybe possible sources, the work as a whole refuses easy interpretation or categorization, and as the title suggests, mainly seems to driven to pollute any refined aesthetic sensibility or value system. On the other hand, Morimura Yasumasa, in this work titled Portrait Futago, appropriates one of the most iconic and notorious paintings in the history of Western modernism. French painter Edouard Manet's 1863 painting Olympia caused an uproar when it was first shown publicly in Paris because it depicts a figure who is clearly a courtesan in complete nude and stares out at the viewers in a brazenly direct way. 125 years later, Morimura inserts himself into the painting, becoming the 19th century Parisian courtesan as well as her African maidservant, also adapting the interior of a boudoir in the original painting to a Japanese setting. By using the word futago, meaning twin, in the title, Morimura seems to suggest that this contemporary interpretation is a twin to the French original, or that the white-skinned mistress and the dark-skinned servant may be twins across the racial and class lines of distinction.
アニメのキャラクターのように見える黄色のスーツはサブカルチャーに大きな影響を受け、90年代の新たな表現を牽引した動向、ネオポップを代表する作家矢野部賢治の作品「アトムスーツ」です。作家が活動を始めた90年代、日本では阪神・淡路大震災、東京で地下鉄サリン事件が起きました。フィクションの世界を超えてこうした現実に起こった災害、テロの現実はアーティストに過去と向き合うことを促すきっかけとなりました。本作品で矢野部は原子力発電所での事故の起こったチェルノブイリを実際に訪れ、このスーツを着用しました。本作は日常の場が廃墟と化した現実に改めて日常の人間性を奪う被爆の盛況の凄まじさを作品を通じて私たちに伝えています。第二次世界大戦の終戦から時間と距離を置いて、戦後生まれのアーティストたちは過去の重みを踏まえながら、また実際に直面した災害や事件を踏まえながら、戦争や核のトラウマ、植民地支配の記憶といった課題に取り組み、歴史の見直しを行ってきました。昭和100年、戦後80周年の節目の今年、彼らの戦後史と向き合う表現は、現代の私たちの社会・文化にも多くの示唆を与えるものです。こちらは沖縄生まれの作家、照屋祐健の作品です。彼は出身の沖縄の文化を取り上げ、ローカルな事物をグローバルな事象と結びつけて私たちに提示してくれます。こちらの着物は紅型と言われる沖縄を代表する方法で染め上げられています。彩り豊かな植物や花が伝統的な型によって染め抜かれています。 よく見るとそこには戦闘機からパラシュートで降りる兵士、ヘリコプターなど沖縄に駐留するアメリカ軍に関係するモチーフが描かれていることに気づきます。また基地建設による環境破壊で被害を受けるジュゴンの姿も登場しています。テルヤの作品に私たちは南国沖縄のトロピカルなイメージから一転、沖縄が背負っている戦争の記憶、花や木同様に日常の現実の中に絶えずあるアメリカという存在、プレッシャーを知ることになります。
This room is called Self and Others. Since the 1990s, there were drastic social and political changes within and outside Japan. Together with more frequent global exchanges, this session focuses on how artists define themselves, their identities in the midst of all these happenings. You see works that critically explore gender, sexuality, or even works that re-examine the definition of national, cultural identity based on artists' own experiences to the world. This period also featured emerging forms of alternative culture, like the youth culture, otaku subculture, manga and anime, online spaces, and etc. This phenomena changes the way how Japan was perceived. We'll see works showing how local and international artists working in Japan at that time are drawn to the distinct, refined, and showing the respect to Japanese tradition. On the other hand, they are also inspired by the eccentric quality of contemporary subculture. These contradicting aspects of Japan became the fertile soil for artistic creation, thinking about Japan and its relation to the world, the host, and the guest. This hanging sculpture is by the Korean artist Lee Bu, called Untitled Craving Red. It is a wearable soft sculpture made with red fabric. The shape of the word looks like a monster. It features tentacles, hands, and legs. This work is part of Sorry for Suffering, You Think I'm a Puppy on a Picnic, a series of stage performances by the artist back in 1988. At that time, Lee Bu traveled from Seoul to Narita Airport in this monstrous sculpture. And then she went on to various locations in Tokyo and struggled to walk. At that time, you can also see her almost collapse on the street. In this work, the artist used her body to protest against the patriarchy, confronting the continuous oppression of women in these modern societies. This work, Empty White Room, is a group of photographs by Nagashima Yulie. These photographs are small but very intimate. They capture the artist herself and also her circle of friends. Nagashima emerged in the 1990s, and she does not confine herself to what was expected to a female photographer for capturing something just feminine or girl. Instead, her work is about the life and activities of young adults. She uses herself as the mediator and to create these casual snapshot-like portraits, almost like a diary. These works suggest the moment when youth culture and subculture was a key subject in the works of the German photographer Wolfgang Tillmans and the American photographer Nan Goldin, who was influential to Nagashima. And we can see how Nagashima was part of this international phenomenon and manifests through her own work, capturing the spirit of this next generation and bringing their lived experiences and realities to the forefront.
2004年に始まったボックスポピュリシリーズで、フィオナタンはさまざまな都市に住む人々から個人的な写真を集めて、タブローを組み立て、こういった見知らぬ人たちが過ごす偽りのない詩的な瞬間の数々を明らかにしてみせます。人々の声を意味するタイトルはここから来ています。写真は異なる多数の人々から寄せられたものであり、それぞれの撮影現場の文化的背景を内容として含んでいますが、誕生日や旅行、家族の集まりといったテーマやモチーフが共通していて、日常の生活や環境の中の時間を捉えたいという欲求が普遍的に存在することが示されています。また、写真はこれらのテーマごとに並べてあります。本展に出品されるバージョンは2007年に制作されたもので、たくさんの匿名の個人が日本の各所で複数の時代にわたって写した約300枚の写真からなります。富士山や昭和の特急、 現代の新幹線、また着物をまとった子どもたち、満開の桜などの被写体から撮影地や時代が伺えます。90年代、世界中のアーティストが人間同士の関係や人間が生きる社会という環境を考え直すようになりました。日本の場合、こうした新しい形のアートはしばしば美術館の外で展開され、コミュニティを土台として自主的にプロジェクトを生み出すことで、一般の観客に現代美術を紹介しました。後には野心的な展覧会が開催されて、国内外のアーティストが一堂に会し、幅広いネットワークが築かれ、地域コミュニティが変容を遂げました。アーティストたちは国境を越えてコレクティブを結成するとともに、公的空間へのゲリラ的な介入を組織し、これを手段として現代社会や国民国家の神話を批判的に、そして遊び心たっぷりに表現しました。またコミュニティへの取り組みを制作プロセスに取り組むアーティストも多かったです。こういったアプローチは全体としてつながりを重視することで新たな美術表現の可能性が生まれ、ヒエラルキーをささやかながら意味のある形で壊すことができると示しました。
Now I'm standing in the middle of this installation called Chapter 3, Welcome to Shijin Olympics, created by the collective Shijin Men. This collective comprises of the Japanese artist Osawa Tsuyoshi, Korean artist Kim Hong-suk, and Chinese artist Chen Xiaoshou. They created this fictional country called Shijin, a satirical city versus the real capitals Beijing, which also read as the northern capital, Tokyo, the eastern capital, and Nanjing, the southern capital. Shijin, the western capital, actually does not exist in the contemporary world. This installation shows you a number of games such as diving and weightlifting as part of the Shijin Olympics. With a strong sense of humor and playfulness, Shijin Men exemplifies the bonding and community created among artists who uphold the value of connecting to break down boundaries of nation states.
博多ドライブインはナウィン・ラーンチャイ君が98年のミュージアムシティ福岡に向けて始めたアートプロジェクトを発端とします。タイ人アーティストであるラーンチャイ君は福岡に住むことになり、自分の新たな生活を福岡の歴史とそこに住む人々の日常とつなげたいと考えました。98年の初頭、松尾利美という地元のタクシー運転手と知り合ったラーンチャイ君は、松尾の人生をもとに写真記録や看板、漫画、市内各地で行ったタクシーラーメンという国会活動を通して半世紀にわたる福岡の発展と関係づけました。2003年、ラーンチャイ君は自身のこのような福岡の歴史探求を継続し、第2部を制作します。博多ドライブイン2では、彼は路面電車やタクシーの運転手との対話を重ね、集合的また個人的記録が埋め込まれた列車車両の形のインスタレーションとして、紹介をしました。コミュニティを原動力とするラワンチャイ君の実践に深く根ざした、博多ドライブインの連作のテーマは、一人の移民が新たなコミュニティと対話を始め、その一員になろうとする過程でもあります。それはまた地域の歴史を扱った動く教室でもありました。90年から2004年にかけて福岡はミュージアムシティプロジェクトを通して日本内外のアーティストの交流を促進するにあたって重心的な役割を果たし、アーティストと住人の出会いの場として街を生まれ変わらせました。博多ドライブインはその節目の数々を振り返っています。
Here's the photo series La Sen Kaigan by Lieko Shiga. In 2008, Shiga moved to Kitahama in Miyagi Prefecture, where she immersed herself in the local community and created this body of surreal photographs, capturing activities of the residents surrounded by the natural environment. Like this one, there is a woman with her forearms, a watermelon embedded under a t-shirt, and also a dinner party scene. Even though these images are staged, the artist did not impose her imagination on her subject, but through conversation and discussion with her residents to create this captivating composition as a way to uncover the unseen images of the community. This poetic dreamlike series finished in 2012 after Kitahama was devastated after the Tohoku earthquake. To Shiga, a collaborative approach with the community is very crucial for her. This relationship adds depth to her work. It also captured the voices of the residents to address the social issues through art. This room shows you different examples of forms of communities that artists have realized in Japan in the past 2 decades. Just like what Joseph Beuys, Nam June Paik, another pioneering international artist, has demonstrated to us at the beginning of this exhibition. If the utopia vision of art is to transcend geographical, cultural, political, and ideological boundaries, then these artists demonstrate their commitment in the community. To them, upholding connection is an important universal value for artistic expression today.
Prism of the Rio, Making Art in Japan 1989 to 2010 is the result of a sustained productive dialogue and collaboration between the National Art Center Tokyo and M+ over the last few years. Historically, Japanese arts and culture have been influenced by numerous external sources. In more recent decades, Japanese contemporary art has been generous and welcoming to many creative and curious minds from outside the country's borders. The open, porous, and international nature of the field is a crucial emphasis of this exhibition.
今年は第二次世界大戦の終結から80年を迎える年です。こうした歴史的な節目に本展を開催できたことは、国籍や文化の違いを超えてつながり、越境することの重要性に改めて気づかされる機会となりました。相互につながり国境のない世界観が疑われ始めている現在、グローバリズムの価値観を共に肯定する本展をご覧になった方々が、前進は対話と理解に基づくと考える私たちに賛同いただけることを願っています。